The Duttons were given a dramatic start in the Season 5 premiere of Yellowstone. With so many enemies around him, John's future as a governor looks quite uncertain. From John's victory speech to a tender moment between Monica and Casey, here are the best moments in the new installment so far.
Do solemnly swear.
To uphold the Constitution of the United States.
To uphold the Constitution of the United States.
The fifth installment of the series didn't continue right after the fourth one stopped, as it featured a 9-month time jump. So, what happened during these 9 months? For starters, Montana has a new governor. Thanks to his successful political campaign, John Dutton became the new governor. And if there were a lot of people trying to destroy him before, that number doubled following his victory speech. John becoming a governor means one thing. He will now do anything to protect his land, and he believes no one is capable of stopping him. He is wrong, though. The fifth installment opens up with John's competitors congratulating him, and a couple of scenes later, John orders his son, Jaime, to write up an executive order that would cancel all state permits and ends all state funding for all of Market Equity's Paradise Valley development projects. As the state's attorney, Jaime says to John, quote, "By signing this order, you are signing a declaration of war." John then says, quote, "As we speak, they're raping the land our family has bled into for over a century. We're already at war." This was such a powerful moment. Don't you guys agree?
Montana is a fifth-generation rancher whose family moved here 6 years before Montana became a state.
The fact that there's a new governor in town proves that we're about to see the most intense Yellowstone season so far. The fifth installment started off with a lot of drama and, sadly, an unexpected tragedy. And although some fans claim this is the worst premiere of the show so far, others think the opposite. This season will be about John and his new position, with his children trying to help him keep the land. Well, let me rephrase that, with some of his children helping him, while others try to destroy him. Before we continue, how do you guys feel about the Season 5 premiere? Do you think it's better than its predecessors? Is it worse?
Protecting you now is how Montana still looks like Montana, when none of us here tonight.
In the first installment, Monica is close to her due date, which proves there has been a 9-month time jump because she's revealed she's pregnant by the end of Season 4. However, she loses her baby in a terrible accident, and the second episode shows the aftermath of that accident. In the scene, we're seeing Tate bleeding and fighting his way out of the car to try and find people who would help him. He calls for an ambulance while his mother screams in pain. Following this flashback, Casey tells Tate that his mom will be okay, but she will need time because she went through something awful. Tate then tells his dad that they should try for another kid because he was so happy about having a little brother. This is, without a doubt, one of the best moments in the Season 5 premiere and beyond. This only brings us to another tender moment, but this one is between Monica and Casey. The two talk about having a funeral for their lost son and burying him at the ranch so they can always visit him. Monica tells Casey they shouldn't talk about any should-have situations. But then, she asks her husband whether the event with her losing the baby was what he saw in that vision that prompted him to say that he saw the end of them. Casey explains that no, he never saw this coming, and the end he saw was one he had to choose, and that he will never choose to end them. He further explains what he saw in that vision. The vision was all about you smashing that like button if you haven't done it already.
I'd like to bury him at the ranch. That way we can always visit him.
Now let's get back to Jaime and John. During John's speech, Jaime looks sad and quite disappointed, which is expected after all. Meanwhile, John's daughter Beth looks at her angry brother with victory in her eyes. Then there's Thomas Rainwater, who watches John giving the speech from his casino, where he says to Mo that Dutton's new position will most certainly benefit the land, but not their business. John and Jaime's relationship has changed a lot over the course of the series. In the previous seasons, John was quite supportive of Jaime's political purposes, but one thing turned his support into anger. As you remember, John said to Jaime that he should run for the office when the family would get the best benefit. Seems like a normal request, right? But Jaime decided to run for Attorney General without telling his father or asking permission from him. And this was the exact moment the father-son bond took the wrong turn. After the party in Season 1, Jaime and Beth get into yet another fight in the car. John decided to put an end to the fight, telling Jaime, quote, "This is all your fault. This was never supposed to be me. This was supposed to be you." "It could have been me. It should have been me," Jaime responds. "I could have won." John then replies, "Oh, I have no doubt. But then what?"
This is all your fault. This was never supposed to be me. It was supposed to be you.
One of the biggest enemies to Beth this season is, without a doubt, Sarah Atwood. Our only question is whether Sarah would somehow join forces with Jaime in order to, well, destroy John and his newly formed political career. As the team at Market Equities watches John cancel the state's funding and access for all of their Paradise Valley development projects, Sarah and Ellis Steele notice a sad-looking Jaime signing John's executive order. Quote, "That's the governor's son? This is like doing business in Utah," Sarah says. She then adds, "This son doesn't look up to this fight. Think I'm going to start with him." What are your theories regarding Sarah and Jaime?
Son doesn't look up to this fight. I think I'm gonna start with him.
The ranch makes sure to mark John's victory with a great party. Meanwhile, Rip watches everyone celebrating from a distance. Beth then decides to join her husband, and Rip tells her, quote, "I never think about what happens a year from now or 10 years from now. I'm always worried about today with an eye on tomorrow, but when I look down there, 10 years worries me." When Beth tells her husband that her father ran for governor in order to protect his family and his land, Rip is a bit suspicious. Rip then compares John's victory party to Nero playing his fiddle as Rome burns. "This reminds me of that," Rip says, adding that he's gonna lose this place. Before he leaves, however, he says, "Smash the subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future."
Today with an eye on tomorrow. But when I look down there, Beth, 10 years worries me.
The Yellowstone Season 5 premiere is one of the best premieres yet, at least according to us. Taylor Sheridan once again gave his fans outstanding cinematography, intense storylines, and plot twists you never saw coming. We only discussed 2 episodes after all, so expect more drama to follow in the upcoming episodes. Are you guys satisfied with the Season 5 premiere? Let us know. Yellowstone returns to television with Season 5 on November 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Paramount Network. See you in the next video.